Okay, so let's go over the very basics of Unreal Engine for like the very first tutorial. So if we open up Unreal Engine, once it opens, wait for it to open up. Almost done, and here we go. And you'll have this, I'll show you recent projects, where I have a bunch. You got recent projects, you got games, page to create first person, third, top down, vehicles, VR, handheld, and this is all with like film production, architecture, like more stuff, and then like simulation based. Which I actually will have a mess around simulation based. So if you go to games, which we're going to do, you can pick between blank, first person, third person, top down, handheld. So what we're going to do, we'll start with blank. So we'll create a blank project. I'll call this tutorial project. Tutorial project. And over here, if you see you got blueprint, C#, C++, click blueprint. If you want, you can do starter content, but I'm going to keep it all off. And of course, we're doing desktop, and then just leave that at maximum. And then you press create. That'll then create the project. I'll be back once the project is loaded. There we go. Unreal Engine has now loaded. When it loads, this will be what you'll see. It's the very basic Unreal Engine layout. What we're going to do is we're going to make this layout better. So you got your details panel. If you hold left click and drag that there, that's now that whole one side now. You can see it a lot better. Here in your content drawer, if you left click and then press dock in layout and then you click off, now it's constantly here, so it constantly won't disappear. It won't disappear every time. Now it will not disappear at all. Let me just go to details panel. So or just click off. I don't know. Okay, so we'll do some very basic file management, so it's a little bit bigger. So the basic files you're going to need is if you right click and do new folder, you're going to have a blueprint folder. You're going to have a levels folder, if I can spell. Levels. You're going to have sounds, some widgets for UI, and then maybe some models. So let's just put models, and maybe some like textures. So you can put textures. So now as you can do, you can also color code these. So you want to make sure you always have file management, one for blueprints, one for your levels, one for 3D models, one for sounds, one for like 2D stuff, and one for UI and that. You can have more, depending on what you do. But if you do this, you can actually set the color. So I'm going to just set random colors for each one. I'd say not to use colors, but you can if you want to. Just sit here and just color every single folder in. I will be back once I've colored them all in. Yeah, as you can see, everything is now colored. We have different color folders now. So that's perfect. We have a bunch of colors. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the very first basic bit of introduction, very basic introduction of what you should really do the first time you open up Unreal. The first thing you're always going to do is do some sort of movement script. So if you open up, if you double click blueprints, right click, you can either make a new folder and call it player, which I'll do that, and just give it a color if you want to. Let's just set color, set it to this color. Open that up if you want, and then you can do blueprint class. You can either use player controller or character. I tend to use character because it's a lot easier to follow along with. Name that BP underscore player. And if you open that up, so we're going to put with this layout, and this is also a very weird layout, so just grab my blueprint and just hope that's not where I want it, and just drag it there. Well, so now you have an extra picture. That's into my head that way. So this here is the basic viewport, where you can add stuff, like say a cube, and you'll see it. Mine's default is the blue, because that's my default texture is, and I take it off, there we go. So you got a cube, you got mesh, which relates to like characters, and this point shows you which way your character is facing. And this is of course the actual collision that allows your player. And around this construction script, you'll very rarely use it. Then you got your event graph. Let's remove these comments because I dislike comments. These comments. Then you got event begin play, begin overlap, event tick. You're probably never going to use begin overlap. The main two you will use is begin play and event tick. They are the main two. But I can show you what they do right now. So if I drag off them, if I just do a print string, and I just let this start, then like I do the same for event tick, and then this one continue. The difference between start, begin play, and event tick is this only gets triggered once when the game first starts, and this gets triggered every second of the game, which ain't actually going to work because I haven't actually hooked it up, but that's basically what it would do. Then all this, you got your class settings, class defaults, which is the main thing you'll mess with, is your class default settings. You have defaults for your character movement, your character collider, but you don't, and your character mesh you also do. So we're not actually going to work on any coding for today. Also, you got this, which allows you to open level blueprints, set your game modes, allows you to add stuff. This level sequences, don't really use. But your play button, if you press play, of course. If you press this play, you can move around your levels, spectator. You've got different ways of playing, so a new editor window. So like this, it's a bigger screen. You've got standalone game mobile, which is for mobile games. If I could run it, I can't exactly run that, actually, never mind. Standalone game. So I run it as basically like how it would be if you actually ran your game. I tend to always run in new editor window. It allows me to have a bigger screen when working on it. And you got default player start, current camera location. So that spawn where the player start is, this will just spawn you where the current camera is, basically. Which I tend to use that until I've actually set the game up fully. And this just quick launches it on the desktop. And you got player standalone, player distant client, distant server player client, which is all basically just like multiplayer in that. And then you got your advanced settings, which is just full of all this stuff. Change your resolution. You can do all sorts of stuff here. Okay, so that's going to be the end of this video. In the next video we will actually go over basic player movement. Now that we've got basic folders, and we've got a character we can work with, and we've actually learned how to open up Unreal Engine project, so we'll do that next episode. We will code very basic player models. Well, not player model, player code, so we can actually move around a level. So until then, I will see you all next time.